Aaron Hobson with Rhinebeck School of Music, and in this video I'm going to talk about the Locrian mode and its use in some songs that were popular and some not so much, that might be a little more obscure, but examples of Locrian in actual music nonetheless. So the Locrian mode is a very difficult mode to just kind of stay in and use because it is so dissonant. I'm going to show you the mode. I'm going to start it on A, and in A Locrian we're going to have A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A. So that's a root, a minor second, a minor third, a fourth, a flatted fifth, a minor sixth, a minor seven, and an octave. So it's a pretty dissonant mode combining two of the most dissonant intervals that you can have in music, a minor second and a flatted fifth. So what are the chords that... So I'm going to talk about the chords that are in the Locrian mode. So the one chord, if you consider it to be a triad, it would be a diminished triad. If you're talking about seventh chords, it would be a minor 7 flat 5. It wouldn't be a fully diminished because a fully diminished seventh chord has a double flatted 7, and a minor 7 flat 5, also known as a half diminished chord, has a single minor 7. So I'm going to do them using seventh chords. So your one chord would be a minor 7 flat 5. So I'm doing these in F sharp, by the way. So F sharp minor 7 flat 5 would be the one chord. G major 7 would be the 2 chord. A minor 7 would be the 3. B minor 7 would be the 4. C major 7 would be the 5 chord. D7 would be the 6 chord. E minor 7 would be the 7 chord. And then you're back to your root position, which is F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So you see why it'd be so challenging to write a song using Locrian, because your one chord is a diminished chord or a half diminished chord. And that is not a chord that anyone really can call home because it doesn't resolve. So every time that you land on this one chord, it feels like it wants to go somewhere else to resolve. So that's why it's such a difficult thing to write in the Locrian mode. So the couple examples I'm going to give. This first one is a metal example, Painkiller by Judas Priest. And I'm only talking about the intro here. So the intro is in E Locrian. So in E Locrian we have E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E. Sounds like the perfect mode for heavy metal, right? So in this intro riff, I mean, this song goes a lot of places modally. The intro is in Locrian, but then it transitions to this A minor thing, and then it goes to a B Phrygian sound. So it's kind of all over the map with its modal use here. So the main riff of the intro, which comes back later in the song, is E, an E octave. So you have this E octave droning with the open E to D, E to F, the minor second. See how dissonant that is? So, and then that's just an E to an A, a G to an E. And then the next part is where the flatted fifth comes in. E, D, E, F, B flat. So you've got all the components of Locrian. You have the root, you have the minor second, you have the flatted fifth, you have the minor third, you have the fourth, you have the minor 7. So it's very Locrian. So here's the riff at full speed. So Painkiller by Judas Priest, and if I had known when I was making my Phrygian video that the verse was centered around a B Phrygian, I could have used that as an example as well. So this next one everyone cites as like the most popular song that could have used Locrian, Army of Me by Bjork. So this is considered a C Locrian. So C Locrian, here's my C root here on the 8th fret. I have C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C. So the bass line kind of starts on the 7th, that B flat. So you've got the 7th and the root, an octave of the 7th here, and the flatted 5th here. So where's the minor second? The minor second comes in the vocal melody. So she starts singing on this C root to the B flat, to that minor second, that D flat. And then she goes up from the D flat. So this bass line, which has the C and the B flat and the G flat, combined with the melody that has that D flat in there and the E flat, kind of makes this nice Locrian sound. I want to mention the whole song isn't in Locrian. It goes to like this this little chromatic thing from D down to C in the next part of the song, but at least the verses are in Locrian. So then there's Juicebox by The Strokes, which isn't really in Locrian. The bass line centers around Locrian and E, but the vocal melody has a natural 5th, so kind of is an interesting sound nonetheless over this Locrian bass line. So I'll just show you the bass line. So in E Locrian we have E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E. So the bass line is so you have this E to the F, the flatted 5th here, and then the minor 3rd, the minor 2nd. So the bass line has this Locrian sound, but then when the vocal melody comes in, it has this B natural over the E minor. It's very kind of pentatonic-y, actually, the melody of the vocal. So, but at least the bass line is an example of something that could be Locrian. So this next song, I think, is the purest example of a song that entirely uses Locrian. It's called Dust to Dust by John Kirkpatrick, and it's a folk song. There is no harmony to this song, meaning there is a version that's, I think, strictly a cappella, and then there's one that's a little bit of accompaniment with accordion. It's a song about grave digging. Locrian would be an appropriate mode for a song about grave digging. So it's in B Locrian, actually. So we have B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So I'm just going to play Dust to Dust instrumentally on the guitar so you can hear this B Locrian melody. That's probably one of the purest examples of the Locrian mode in a song that stays in the Locrian mode for the entire song. So check that one out. So as someone who's studied jazz, the Locrian mode really isn't that foreign to me. It's something that I've used quite often over the minor 7 flat 5 chord, which happens a lot in jazz, over a minor 2-5-1. The first chord of Stella by Starlight. E minor 7 flat 5 to A7. So every time I would see these minor 7 flat 5 chords, I would always think Locrian mode. There's other things that you can play over the minor 7 flat 5, but that is the one that you usually start with. So this would be an E minor 7 flat 5 chord that I have here. E, B flat, D, and G. And then off of my E here, I could play the E to the F, to the G, A, B flat, C, D, to E. So it works very well over that in jazz, where you do see a lot of minor 7 flat 5 chords. In other styles of music, not so much sometimes. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you guys have any examples of the Locrian mode that you know of that you'd like to share, please comment. If you haven't already, become a patron. www.patreon.com/Rhinebeck School of Music. Visit our website. We do offer private lessons remotely via Skype and Zoom. And subscribe. See you next time.